I want you to picture me at 34. Good job, big oil company, the kind of salary that my parents had dreamed for me, a husband that I love, two beautiful children, everything that I've been told to want sitting right there in my hands. And I was sitting at my desk one morning, looking at my calendar, looking at my next promotion, looking at my whole life laid out neatly in front of me. And I heard a question inside me that I couldn't shake. Is this it? Now, if you've ever had the same question inside you or one that is like it, stay with me. Whether you are 22 and standing at the start of adult life, wondering which way is yours, or you are 52 and quietly wondering if there's more under the success that you have already built. The question doesn't care about your age and it doesn't care about your title. It just keeps coming. Now, the work that I do today comes from refusing to ignore mine. And I have a feeling that there's one inside you too. Growing up, I was handed a list, 3 things to tick. Get a good education, tick. Get a good job, tick. Get married, have children, tick, tick. And let me tell you something, ticking those boxes was not nothing. I worked hard for those ticks. My education came from sweat. The job came from years of pushing. The marriage and the children came from showing up every single day, even when it was hard. And every time I ticked one, I felt the same thing, a small wave of pride, followed by something quieter underneath it, something I couldn't name yet. Now, by the time I had ticked all 4, the quiet thing underneath had a voice, and it was asking me, is this it? Now, here's what I want you to understand, because if you take nothing else from this video, take this one. Nobody prepares you for the moment after the check boxes. Everyone tells you how to get to the check boxes. Everyone has an advice on your education, on the job you should get, on the marriage, on the children. There are books for it. There are even courses. There are aunties who will sit you down and tell you exactly what to do. But nobody tells you what happens when you've ticked all of them and the question is still there. Nobody tells you that you can have everything on the list and still wake up at 32 or 34 wondering what you're doing with your life. But for me, it was during that season that I came across a story in scripture that changed everything for me. And that's Judges chapter 6. An angel shows up to a man called Gideon while he was hiding in a winepress, threshing wheat in secret because his country had been overrun. And that angel says to him, "The Lord is with you, mighty warrior." Now imagine that you are hiding, you are afraid, and someone shows up and say, "Hey, mighty warrior." And Gideon does what any honest person would do. He pushes back. He says, if the Lord is with us, why has all these things happened to us? Why are we where we are right now? And here's the part that really touched me in a very good way. The angel doesn't scold Gideon for asking. The angel doesn't tell him to be quiet and have more faith. The angel turns to him and says, "Go in this your might." Did you catch what just happened? The strength that Gideon was looking for was already inside the question that he was brave enough to ask. Now that's when I understood that my question wasn't disrespect. My question was the first sign that God has something more for me as a person. The question was my doorway. Now, it was the same thing with David in 1 Samuel chapter 17. A teenager walks into a battlefield and he sees a giant that nobody else is brave enough to face, and he starts asking questions. Who is this man? Who does he think he is to defy the army of the living God? Everyone tells him, "Shut up." His own brothers tell him to shut up. The soldiers tell him to shut up, but he doesn't. He keeps asking, and the questions lead him to the moment that actually defined his entire life. The giant falls because David refused to stop asking questions that everybody wanted him to drop. At the root of every honest question is your assignment, something we call vision. So the question that won't leave you alone, the one that you've been trying to suppress, the one that feels like you are being ungrateful, the one that makes you feel guilty for wanting more, that question is not your enemy. It might be the most important door that you will ever walk through. I want to tell you what happened to me after I stopped running from the question. God began to put templates in my hands, frameworks, clear maps, things that I still use today for my own life. And this is what happened. People started showing up, young adults at the very start of their working life, trying to choose which path was theirs. Career professionals with the salary, the title, the LinkedIn profile who close the laptop at night and quietly wonder, is this it? Founders who have built something and were now stuck at a ceiling that they couldn't break through. Parents who have spent years pouring out and were sensing a stir of their own underneath the daily routine. Different ages, different lives, same question. And they kept asking me, can you help me with this? Can you walk me through what you walked through? So now I do. I'm a clarity coach. And I sit with people in 3 places where the dream gets stuck, where the picture is fuzzy. That's life planning. We take what is vague and unclear and turn it into a simple 1 to 5 year map that you can actually walk. Now, when the relationship around the dream is not working, that's one-to-one clarity coaching for those seasons when you need to rebuild intentionally or start again after a setback. Also, when the work that you're called to build feels too heavy to carry, that's business startup support for anyone that God is calling out of where they are now into something bigger that doesn't rest entirely on their shoulders. 3 places, 1 thread, clarity. Now, if I could leave you with one thing today, it would be this. Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 2. Write the vision. Make it plain. Not when you have it all figured out. Not when the picture is complete. Not when you feel ready. Write what you have right now, however unclear it is. Because here is the thing that nobody will tell you about vision. It doesn't arrive in a finished package. No, it comes line upon line, precept upon precept. The line you write today is what makes the next line possible to receive tomorrow. Now, I have a notebook from 15 years ago with the first lines that I wrote when I started this journey. Half of them sounded ridiculous at that time. Most of them have come true. And every single one of them only came true because I had the courage to write the first line. So pick up your pen today or open your notes app. Write what you have, however small, even if it is just the question itself. Write the question. That's a vision too. Now, if the question has been sitting on you while you're watching this and you don't know what to do with it, I want to invite you to do one small thing. Send me a message. There's a link in my bio that actually opens up a direct conversation with me on WhatsApp. Tell me where you are. Tell me what you're sitting with. You don't have to make it sound polished. Just write it the way you would say it to a friend. I read every message myself. And I'll meet you in that question. But as I close, I want you to hear me on this one. You are not crazy for wanting more. You are not ungrateful for asking the question. You are not failing for finding the check boxes empty. You are being called. And the question you've been trying to silence might be the first sentence of the most important chapter of your life. Now, if this stirred something, subscribe. I drop a new teaching here every weekend. And during the week, I share a shorter reflection every other day. And I'm praying with you that God will bless you and give you the courage and the clarity to take the next step. And I'll see you at the top.